The Detroit rap scene is riddled with gang wars. The 7 Mile Bloods battle with gangs spread across the Eastside. This includes the Hustle Boys, Gutter Boys, and 6 Mile Cheddar Grove. Let's talk about rapper 42 Dugg, who was born Dion Marquis Hayes. He's from the 6 Mile East Side of Detroit, and his rap skills gained the attention of his fellow superstar rapper, Lil Baby. 42 Dugg has 2 big songs, Streets, featuring Babyface Ray, and STFU, featuring Peasy, EWM Kato, Bag Boy Mel, Cash Kid, and EWM Buck. 42 Dugg eventually signed jointly to Lil Baby and Yo Gotti's respective labels through Empire Distribution. 42 Dugg and Lil Baby collaborated on 2 songs, We Paid and Grace. We Paid became 42 Dugg's first top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. 42 Dugg's success continued by being featured on songs by Marshmello, Lil Keed, Meek Mill, Black Youngsta, Big Sean, T.I., Cash Page, Tory Lanez, and Mulatto. But of course, success typically comes with adversity. 42 Dugg's success is no exception to that rule. He recently ran into a little legal trouble starting in March 2020. 42 Dugg was arrested on federal gun charges and he was released a week later. But that was only the start of 42 Dugg's legal troubles. 3 months later, in June, 42 Dugg rented an SUV and found himself in a traffic stop after running through a stop sign. Well, found himself in a traffic stop might not be the right word in here. 42 Dugg actually fled from police as they attempted to stop him. He evaded the police and was actually on the run for 2 months. The police worked with the rental company, however, and they tracked 42 Dugg and eventually caught him in August. 42 Dugg was charged with a 3rd-degree felony for fleeing from the police, and he was released on a $20,000 bond. Dugg has had plenty of ups and downs so far in his young career, and we will discuss him more in a few minutes. But first, let's introduce the other players in the saga. Rapper Sada Baby, who was born Quesada Sorrell, is from the 7 Mile East Side of Detroit. Sada Baby grew up singing in the church choir, but he wouldn't always remain so holy. Sada Baby went on Vlad TV back in September 2020 and revealed that he has been charged with 2 felonies in his life. The first felony was in 2013 when he was 20. He was accused of stealing someone's purse and he vigorously denied the charge and still does to this day. Unfortunately for Sada Baby, he did end up convicted of felony larceny. His second charge was felony gun possession, for which he was also convicted. Sada Baby explained that the reason that he carries a gun and still does is because of life. Now I gotta wonder why someone with the financial resources, such as Sada Baby, doesn't just leave the gang-ridden city. But we've seen this before. Many hip-hop stars in the same situation stay loyal to the streets that they came from, but the streets don't always stay loyal to them. Another player in the Detroit hip-hop game is rapper Tee Grizzley, who was born Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr. Tee Grizzley is from Detroit's west side. A little fact about Tee Grizzley is that he actually went to college in 2014. The problem with that fact is that while in college, Tee Grizzley stole $20,000 worth of electronics and money from all the other students. He ended up charged and sentenced to prison. While in prison, Tee Grizzley started to take rap seriously and he penned most of his debut mixtape while behind bars. In 2016, Tee Grizzley was released and shortly afterwards, he released his debut track, First Day Out. This track gained Tee Grizzley some fame in the rap community and the video on YouTube gained 2 million views in less than 3 weeks. That's pretty good. Now, let's introduce the final 2 players in this saga, the rap group known as the 42 Twins. The members of the group are twin brothers Michael and Martez Davis. As you might have guessed, the twins belong to the 42 gang, which was formerly known as the Hustle Boys. The 42 Twins would get involved in a critical gang-related situation back in the summer of 2014, and this is where we'll deep dive into the gang issues involving these Detroit rap artists. On July 14, 2014, both 42 twins, Michael and Martez Davis, arrived at the Lawton parole office for the morning meeting with their parole agent. Both Michael and Martez have similar convictions for armed robbery. So, on that morning in July 2014, as the twins were leaving their meetings with their parole agent, Billy Arnold, the gang leader of the 7 Mile Bloods, their rival gang, spotted the twins. Billy Arnold then proceeded to call several other 7 Blood members to confront the twins. Now, before the other 7 Mile Blood members arrived, the twins got into a car with other members of the 42 gang and pulled away. After driving about 4 miles, the car with the 42 twins was surrounded by 3 vehicles occupied by 7 Mile Blood members. One of the vehicles pulled up next to the car with the 42 twins. Billy Arnold and another 7 Mile Blood named Corey Bailey leaned out and opened fire. Michael Davis was shot in the chest, and another 42 member named DeJuan Neff Page was shot in the left eye and upper body. The twins got out and flagged down a passing car, which belonged to a social worker, and they asked for a ride to the hospital. The social worker was hesitant at first because of Page's appearance. The social worker later testified in court saying about Page, "All I saw was an eyeball out of the socket." Twin Martaze Davis survived the shooting, but was charged in a separate federal gun case in August. Prosecutors said Martaze was a suspect in the drive-by shooting deaths of rappers Ray Mel, 47 Mel Campbell, and Dominique Brown in July 2017. This happened near I-94 and Livernois in Detroit. Things wouldn't get much better for Tee Grizzley. In August 2019, Tee Grizzley was driving with his aunt and manager Jobina J.B. Brown and another man on Detroit's East Side. They stopped at Tee Grizzley's cousin's house, and Tee Grizzley went inside. Now his aunt, J.B. Brown, decided to wait in the car. According to Tee Grizzley, the reasoning why his aunt stayed in the car is because she's a clean freak and didn't like dirty houses. So apparently his cousin's house must have been pretty trashed inside. So while J.B. Brown waited in the car, a gunman walked up, opened the door, and fired at the rapper's aunt. In an interview about the incident, Tee Grizzley said this about the situation. They, his family members, finally came to the door, but then I heard a whole bunch of shots going off behind me. So I get down because I'm thinking they're about to start shooting at me, and I didn't have any weapons on me at the time. Then my cousin ran out with a gun. Then we ran out on the street and my driver was gone. There were no cars out there. Tee Grizzley continued by saying, "I didn't even know what was going on at this point. I don't see no glass on the street, so I'm like, oh, my aunt and driver are straight. I didn't even think this had anything to do with us. So now I'm mad at my driver and aunt, like, y'all heard those shots. Why would y'all leave me over here?" But my driver ended up calling me and telling me what happened. So basically, the gunman walked up to my car door and opened it, trying to get at me, and ended up hitting my aunt up, T explained. She died at the hospital. She called me before, but she couldn't form words. They hit her 8 times. He added that he still doesn't know why they chose to shoot his aunt, but he admitted that he feels to blame because it should have been him. So as you can see, the gang war is definitely on full blast in Detroit, and this brings us to the ongoing beef between 42 Dugg and Sada Baby. The first reason why these two hip-hop stars of Detroit don't get along is simply because of where they're from. As mentioned earlier, 42 Dugg is from the 6 Mile of Detroit's East Side, and he reps the 42 gang. And Sada Baby, being from the 7 Mile of East Detroit, naturally reps the 7 Mile Bloods. So, you can see how they don't like each other just from their gang affiliations. But there's more to this beef. Remember Tee Grizzley? Well, he unwittingly helped to start this beef between 42 Dugg and Sada Baby. Tee Grizzley did a song with the 42 twins called Secrecy. Not too long after that collaboration, Tee Grizzley signed Sada Baby to his label. Yeah, that's right. He made a song with members of the 42 gang and turned around and signed a rapper who's a member of the 7 Mile Bloods. This goes against all of hood politics, and it didn't sit well with many people. This is most likely the reason why Tee Grizzley's aunt was shot. Shortly after signing with Tee Grizzley, Sada Baby left the label, but his beef with 42 wouldn't go away. At a party in Detroit where Sada Baby was in attendance, 42 Dugg, who was also in attendance, hopped up on stage and performed a diss track about Sada Baby. Then there's the alleged robbery, where Sada Baby was robbed of his own gun. It's said that 42 Dugg played a part in the robbery, yet Sada Baby denies that the robbery even occurred. Things continue to pop off in the city of Detroit. This past February, while at a music video shoot in Atlanta, 42 Dugg and fellow rapper Roddy Ricch were shot at. Neither rapper was struck, but 2 other men were wounded in the gunfire. An Alabama rapper by the name of OMB Peasy was arrested in connection with the shooting. Word on the street is that Sada Baby may have had a hand in the shooting, but it's not been confirmed, and Sada Baby denies this.